story can be found in the literary works of H.P. Lovecraft, who used the terms Ancient Ones and Elder Gods to refer to the Titans and the angels, respectively. A fact related in his novels and echoed by a few in the occult is that the Ancient Ones are chained in darkness, and that there is a certain celestial radiation arriving from space that is utterly toxic to these Titans. There is a day coming, however, when the rays of the stars will no longer be toxic to the old ones, and this day will be marked by some kind of rare astronomical event. After this event in the sky, the wicked god Azagthoth, also called Hades and Pluto, will free and lead the Titans out of their prison. Black magicians also have a long list of titles for Lilith, and have much reverence for her because she is among those who give them the dark gift of transformation. Among these titles are Queen of the Qliphoth, Queen of the Underworld, Queen of the Dead, Queen of the Vampires, Queen of the Sabbat, Queen of Hell, Queen of the Witches, Queen of the Shells and Shades, Mother Earth, and the Mother Goddess. She is the bride of Satan and the mother of all demons, also called Lilitu. Lilith is often associated with the Red Sea, which is said to be a place where she spawned and instructed demons. The screech owl and dove are Lilith's sacred animals. The US dollar bill contains a small tiny image of what is commonly thought to be a spider, but is in fact an owl. At Bohemian Grove, members of the elite perform rituals and mock sacrifices before a 35-foot stone owl. This owl, which was long suspected to be symbolic of the Canaanite god Moloch, is in fact symbolic of Lilith, who is Babylon the Great and the bride of Lucifer. Tiamat may also be symbolized by a red dragon and is known as a devouring goddess. In the Bible, Lilith goes by the titles Whore of Babylon, Mother of Harlots, and Babylon the Great. This woman is depicted holding a golden cup and wearing many precious stones while robed in the colors purple and scarlet. Scarlet is just plain red with a slight hint of orange. The imagery commonly relates her as riding a scarlet beast. This woman is described as drunk from the blood of the saints. Lilith, being the mother of vampires, this is fitting. The Whore of Babylon is also related to a city or location. This city has had relations with all the rich men of the earth and is a haven for demons. It is understood that this character or city currently rules the world and uses sorcery to do so. Hecate, also equated with Lilith, is the Greek triple goddess. She is the goddess of the crossroads, who is frequently depicted with 3 heads, one of a dog, one of a snake, and one of a horse. This goddess is often associated with witchcraft and childbirth, and was accompanied by an owl during her travels. She is known as the Virgin Goddess, and is also reported to have a quote-unquote following of ghosts, and lives in the underworld with Hades, Lord of the Underworld. Another goddess related to Lilith is the Egyptian goddess Isis. Isis was the wife of Osiris and was responsible for Osiris's first resurrection. Isis is skilled at magic and especially intelligent. Isis, like Hecate, is a goddess of childbirth. It appears Isis, the widow of noble Osiris, is now the harlot, bride of Satan. Sekhmet, an Egyptian goddess who was among the most ancient of the gods, is also associated with both Lilith and Isis. Sekhmet is spoke of as being just as much a weapon as a goddess. At the behest of the god Ra, Sekhmet almost destroyed all of humanity. She was unable to halt her bloodlust and had to be tricked into desisting. She is symbolized by a lion-headed woman wearing red. She even has titles like the Scarlet Lady. In Rome, Lilith was known as Diana. Diana is a goddess of the hunt, the moon, and childbirth. She was also known as the Virgin Goddess. Artemis, the Greek equivalent of Diana, is also a goddess of the hunt, childbirth, the moon, and is also a virgin goddess. Artemis is also closely related to Selene, yet another moon goddess. In Hinduism, Lilith goes by the name Kali. Kali is a goddess identified with death, carnage, and the feminine principle. She is often called Mother Kali and the Mother Goddess, who is the consort of the god Shiva, the Destroyer. Kali is depicted as a naked woman with black skin who wears a necklace of skulls and holds a bloody sword. Similar to the Babylonian account of Tiamat, Kali's body parts constitute the universe of space and time. The goddess Kali, along with her husband Shiva, roam the quote-unquote Freemason grounds. This is a likely reference to the Qliphoth or underworld. In the Persian narration, Az is the mother of demons and the consort of Ahriman, who is Satan. Semiramis, yet another name for this goddess, an Assyrian queen of legend, was reportedly the inspiration behind the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, also called the Hanging Gardens of Semiramis, are considered to be one of the 7 great wonders of the ancient world. The Hanging Gardens, which some speculate to date back to 600 BC, much more likely to be earlier, was a spectacular series of man-made terraces with flowing waters and lush growth on every platform. Queen Semiramis is said to be a harlot, a homewrecker, and a powerful sorceress. This personage is associated with the dove and, proper to the virgin, was credited with the invention of the chastity belt. Semiramis became the patroness of Babylon when she restored the city to its ancient glory. Hades is the lord of the underworld. Although Greek mythology does not depict Hades as a villain, modern Satanists and a little common sense have confirmed to me that he is God's greatest enemy today. In Rome, he was known as Pluto, and the Hebrews knew him as Mot. In the Lovecraft mythos, he is Azagthoth, and to many occultists, he is called Corazon. Just like Hades, who is considered both a character and a location, Corazon is also considered a character and location. The Egyptians call this demon Apep. The Greeks and Christians know the location of Hades as Sheol, or the land of the dead, but the Hebrews knew it as Da'af, and the author H.P. Lovecraft called it Yog-Sothoth. Hades is an incredibly powerful being, and is always described as formless. He is known as the guardian of the underworld, and is said to hold the key to the Qliphoth. This guardian of the abyss is considered mentally unstable and evil even by the worst magicians. This spirit is regarded as a devouring demon who seeks to steal the life force and sanity from all who cross his path. This entity's reputation for inducing insanity is legendary, for he is truly the embodiment of dispersion and chaos. His greed for collecting and retaining souls is insatiable. Hades is often depicted as more intelligent than his brother Zeus. This god waits in the abyss for the magician who seeks union with his guardian angel, so that in order to be transformed, the magician must master Corazon. The abode of Corazon is a dark place where those long dead gesture and stumble aimlessly, a place where hope is not to be found. Hades sided with Zeus and the other Olympians in the war against the Titans. In the night before a major battle between the Olympians and the Titans, Hades put on his quote-unquote helmet of darkness, which made him invisible, after which he crept into the enemy camp and destroyed the Titans' weapons. Hades has a wife named Persephone, who dwells with him in the underworld. With the Titans defeated, the 3 brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, divided creation between each other. Zeus ruled the heavens, Poseidon ruled the seas, and Hades would rule the underworld. And there, Hades rules today, upon a black throne. Even the worst magicians will recommend against invoking or evoking Hades, and even the skillful emphasize extreme caution. Hades is simply too chaotic and too powerful. His words are deceitful and full of evasion and misdirection. While evoked in ritual, he will seize upon the weaknesses of the sorcerer and instill madness in those who summoned him. He is sometimes titled the blind, idiot, or mad god, but this is not wholly accurate, because this being is no fool. After being condemned by God to rule the underworld, his growing madness has brought him from bad to worse. Hades, whose number is 333, is considered to be the biggest obstacle for the sorcerer who wishes to cross the abyss, because he guards the point between the two universes. This spirit is hot-tempered. He reacts hastily and violently to the slightest provocation. John Dee, the noted 16th century magician who was a spy for Queen Elizabeth I and the original 007, along with his partner, Sir Edward Kelly, referred to this being as Corazon. They claimed that out of the 30 ethers, or 30 dimensions, the domain of Corazon was to be found in the 10th ether, the dimension dubbed Zax. They also titled him He That Is Fallen, and even associated him with the leader of the Serpent from the Garden of Eden, who equated to the fallen angel Azazel Semyaza from the apocryphal book of Enoch. Aleister Crowley, who thought of himself as a reincarnation of Sir Edward Kelly, once attended an invocation of Corazon. Crowley described this being as extremely deceitful and manipulative. He found Corazon to be extremely unstable and incapable of concentrating his thoughts. Corazon, who was said to be tortured by silence, would sometimes begin to argue and test the will of Crowley's partner. Corazon claimed to have 1,000,000 voices in his head, which is why the demon is reported to be extremely talkative and moves from thought to thought quickly. Crowley was told by Corazon that if the names of God had not bound him, he would leap out of the evocation triangle and slay all of those present. This mad god is said to laugh loudly and often, like a madman. In his Equinox Volume 1, Part 5, Crowley recounts a first-person narrative of Corazon, where the demon states, "Ah, I will reach up to the knees of the Most High and tear his phallus with my teeth, and I will bray his testicles in a mortar and make poison thereof to slay the sons of men." Corazon goes on to state, "I have prevailed against the kingdom of the Father and befouled his beard. I have prevailed against the kingdom of the Son and torn off his phallus, but against the kingdom of the Holy Ghost shall I strive and not prevail." As stated earlier, Satanists make numerous references to a devilish force stealing the creative power of the Most High God, and this has given birth to much phallic symbolism. Subservient to Hades are many lesser demons, some of which are merely empty shells with little intellect. For the novelist H.P. Lovecraft, Hades went by the name Azagthoth, the mad blind god. Azagthoth is presented as the leader of the demons and resides at the center of the universe in a dark underworld called the Agigi. Azagthoth is described as the embodiment of chaos, extremely powerful, and rendered sightless in some battle. The mad god sits upon a black throne, where he rules the dead spirits of the outer void. The black man of the Sabbath, Baphomet, is considered the messenger of Azagthoth, and his will made flesh. When the stars assume the correct positions, and the rays that come from them are no longer poisonous, Azagthoth will lead the Titans out of the abyss and into the world of man. The old ones intend on ruling the earth as they once did. In this new age, the human race will of course be reduced to slaves and food. In Egyptian mythology, Apep, called the Chaos Serpent, lurked in the Tuat, which is the Egyptian underworld.